Hi guys, Alex Peak Performance Reviews. Welcome to another vlog and welcome to another EV review. But it is an awesome EV review, or at least I hope so. I have the new Abarth E, which is, like I say, really exciting to be fair. I've driven all the other Abarths. Everyone that's followed my channel for a while will probably know that I absolutely adore Abarth as a brand. Really love the car. I hold high hopes for this. Of all EVs that have come out, I've probably been more excited about something like this. Obviously, I've got the weather for it. Look at it, it's beautiful here in England right now. But no, look, it's convertible. I'm not going to open the roof today. But I'm really looking forward to this. It's not a particularly powerful car, but apparently people are saying it's really, really fast. It's supposedly the fastest Abarth ever in terms of outright performance and straight line performance and chassis dynamics. So I'm really intrigued to see how that translates and whether it is actually really that good. But yeah, it's, like I say, I'll tell you a bit more about the tech spec always. If you've got any questions, hit us up as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's go drive. So yeah, onto the drive, and we are out in the Abarth E, and like I say, first all-electric Abarth, and it's supposedly meant to be the quickest Abarth in both acceleration and performance handling and chassis dynamics, which I find hard to believe, but with the bods at Abarth, it shouldn't be too hard to believe, I guess. But it's very, very strange being in here, hearing absolutely nothing or nearly nothing, just a bit of wind noise, a bit of road tyre noise. And we're just in the Turismo mode, which is basically a one of the lower modes. There is an eco mode as well. There's also Scorpion Street and Scorpion Track. I'm just going to go straight to track mode. But look, this is the mode we want it on. We haven't got the car for that long, so let's give it a good little push. What's the first thing to note? Obviously, these things do not have a great overly big range. I'll put all the links in the bio to everything, but the most important thing you'll want to know is the tech spec. It doesn't sound like a lot. It actually feels and equates to a lot. It's actually a very comfortable, relatively smooth ride, despite me being now in track mode, but I haven't put my foot down yet. The chassis definitely feels quite nice. Let's go down to a lower speed and see what the acceleration feels like. I'm going to punch roll it at about 30 miles an hour up to the speed limit. Ready, steady, go. I mean, it's quick. It's not insanely quick, but again, it's not got a huge horsepower. But these Abarths never have. But is it quicker? I can't definitively tell whether it feels like it is quicker than the petrol models, but I'm told it is. We are going to try and do some performance tests on this, maybe a 0 to 60 test. But first and foremost, the most important thing is the chassis. Let's see what the chassis feels like, and let's move on to the car's handling. So you might have heard me say 173 horsepower is actually 153 horsepower and 173 foot-pounds of torque. So yeah, it isn't, the headline figures are not particularly crazy. The 0 to 60 is 7 seconds. Again, like I said, I am going to test this. But the most important thing for me about a hot hatch and an Abarth is the handling, the chassis. And that is the most important thing. So I've got a really good road coming up as I kind of almost turn it lock to lock. And like I say, no, it again, maybe coming from something like a Cupra Born, with just over 200 horsepower, this acceleration wise doesn't feel quite as quick as the Cupra Born, which I really thought this would feel as quick. So I'm going to rattle it on a little bit more now down these roads. Obviously this is a convertible one, as I said in the intro, but it should change the chassis dynamics, but to me it doesn't feel any different to the normal one. But the steering is lovely and sharp. For an EV, I have to say it's one of its plus points out of everything I do get to drive EV-wise. This has probably got one of the best steering weights to it. And obviously with EVs, they are all electric, so they tend to be less stiff and sure-footed and don't really tend to give feedback. They can be very lifeless. Now we're kind of rattling on a bit more and we've got the undulations and bumps. You can start to feel on track mode it is a lot more bumpy, and this, yeah, you wouldn't want to go on too many bumpy roads for a long periods of time because it would get uncomfortable, but it's not too bad. I've been in sporty cars with sporty chassis that have got a lot firmer ride and bumpy jolting ride than this. Right, do a little quick roundabout test. This also gives you a bit of an idea what the chassis grip's like, and the front end grip and the rear grip is like. I call it the roundabout test. Yeah, it's really good. Gonna keep going. You can obviously hear lots of squeal, but it's not really giving up. It doesn't feel like a typical EV with loads of roll. It's got a nice sure-footed chassis. Traction control is still on. There's a little bit of roll at the high end, but overall that is very sure-footed and good. Brakes feel decent as well. Stomp on them, yeah, they're good. And that acceleration, it's a little bit, like I say, it's quick, but it just it doesn't have some of the torque of some of the other EVs that are out there. Like, but overall, for like a car that, you know, is really fun, the chassis is definitely one of the best out there, I have to say, in terms of these small EVs, these small hot hatches. It's so low down, it's so sure-footed, it's got great grip, very nice feedback, obviously from this lovely Alcantara steering wheel with this lovely little steering indicator, just like a little track car. But no, it's a really good little car. I just wish it had a little bit more power. The chassis feels like it just needs and wants even more power. And in obvious British tradition, the weather turns, but it doesn't matter. Like I say, this isn't overly powerful, and it seems to have really good front end and rear end grip. But like I say, I'm going to push this on a little bit more. The brakes have proven to be really good. Chassis feels really nice. They've got loads of different modes and kind of like screens that you can have as well, layouts that do look really nice. The interior, I've got to obviously mention it. Finally, Abarth have got have amped up their interior in it. They've modernised it, and it is far better than it ever used to be. Materials used feel much better quality, and the infotainment and the general aesthetics of the screens and touchscreen are really good. Finally coming to the modern day. And yeah, what do I think, you know, really of this car? It's impressive. The chassis is really good. I feel like it could do with having a little bit more power, but overall it's great. The only thing I don't like is the price, which is about £36,000 for a little car like this. I just can't help but thinking it is a little bit overpriced. But where the world with the EVs at the moment, they all start at that kind of value, and it is what it is, unfortunately. Is there other better EVs out there? Yes, they're very different. You've got the big huge MG X-Power, which is a huge car. It's supposedly, and still is, a hot hatch, but it's £36,500, literally about the same price as this. And you know, the interior is there or thereabouts of the quality of this. Is the chassis as good? Probably not, but obviously it's all-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive with this. But yeah, overall it's a great car. I'd love more time in it just to really definitively be able to tell you, you know, what I think about everything and how I live with it. It appears to be doing fairly decent range while I've been out on it. I've been out on it for about 20-25 minutes, and it's only lost about 10% in battery charge, and obviously I've been going really hard. It has got regen. You've got different modes and different things that will affect and change the regen. Again, I will be doing a more in-depth video of this car hopefully in the future, so I'll have a bit more time with it. But if you've got any questions about it, obviously always ask us questions, because like I say, we haven't got so much time with it today. But let me drive on a bit more. Brakes are really good, to be fair. Very confidence inspiring. Probably again, I'd say EVs, a natural trait is that they do this battery brake regen, and because they do this regen through the brakes tend to be a little bit like lifeless and have very little bite. But the one thing I will say is this has a much better, more track-like brake pedal underfoot. It's got very good modulation, very quick responsive brake pedal, which I like. And for that, it does kind of feel more like just a normal petrol combustion engine car. And you wouldn't know, apart from the lack of sound, you wouldn't really know that this wasn't an old school petrol fibre, even Abarth. apart from the orchestration of the pops and the bangs that you get naturally from those little motors of old. But they've done a great job with this. I wish it just had a little bit more pace, but overall, very impressed. So that is the end of our video on the Abarth E, and yeah, overall I'm very impressed, but at the same time a little bit underwhelmed. It's just more than anything the price. It's just quite a lot of money to digest for such a small little car. The range isn't huge, power could be a bit quicker, but overall the chassis dynamics, the brake feel, the steering feel is amazing. It's probably the best out there in terms of these hot hatch EVs. And overall, it still is a great car. I'm not saying I don't like it. In fact, I do really like it. It's just those other fundamental things that you've got to think about. There's other cars out there in and around that price that you then think, you know, where would you put that? I don't know, but overall I like it. I'm going to give it a peak performance reviews rating of 85% out of 100. So again, like I say, highly regarded. I really like it. I want to know your thoughts. What do you think on the colour? What do you think of the car? Obviously it's lacking a bit of sound, you know, we know that with EVs. It is what it is. But yeah, let us know what you think. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, like, share, comment and subscribe. See you again in the next one. Bye for now.